sure they're under that little lever there. When he lifts it, this is going to pull. He pulls that, this goes down, and that releases that dog. All right, there's 6 marshmallows in there. And this is in the ground, okay? This, I'll go ahead and tell you how I bait it, then I'll show you how I set it. Cat food. I use the seafood brand, okay? I have spent so much money on coon baits. My wife, she'll tell you, she gets mad at me about it. Save your money, but this is what I do. I put them 6 eggs in there, marshmallows. I take a little bit of cat food, not much, because if it gets too full, they'll get full. They'll get bored. You know, a hungry fat coon will eat all of it. He'll eat every bit of it if you fill it up to the top. But chances are, if it's down lower, he has a lot less to go to that trigger, so it don't take him very long to catch. I just fill it up right past the trigger. That's it. Cheap too. I mean, it's cheap. I bet all this at Dollar Tree, except for this. This is my favorite stuff. This right here is what does it. Crawfish oil. Crawfish oil. This stuff is deadly. But you take, after you got to give the trigger, take this a little squirt it a little bit in there. And this is in the ground. This is the ground. You squirt a circle around the ground. And if it's a trail, which I don't set hardly ever unless I'm on a trail. That's my number 1 tip for coons. Set on a trail. Around a feeder or a trail or a log crossing. That's the 3 best spots to catch a coon every night, every single night. Around a feeder. This right here is called an earth anchor. I don't know if anybody doesn't know. This is called an earth anchor, okay? You buy these chains right here from the trapping places and you hook them to your traps with these J hooks. A little J hook. You slide it through this hole, you pull it out like that right there. You take this, and you go around the chain, you take these channel locks, and you squeeze the mess out of it, okay? All the way through the touches, all right? I've tried 2 pairs of channel locks to get them off. It's hard, you can't do it. This is the lifesaver. These little cutters, little wire cutters, get you a pair. You put it in there where the crease is. Take that part right there, just put it on that chain right there, and you just bend like this. Bend up. And it'll open up. These things, you can get like a pack of 12 for $1 from F&T. And these are awesome. This can attach any trap to any anchoring device. So after you got this goes in the ground, okay? I'm getting ahead of myself. You stick this part in the ground, and you put it at a 45-degree angle, okay? Don't put it straight up, don't put it too low, just put it at a 45-degree angle. And find soft dirt, they will pull them down. If you got real soft dirt, they love to pull them down, and what happens is the bait falls on the ground like that, they don't get caught, they get a good meal, then they go on and they'll come back at the end of the next time. So stick this part right here into the ground at a 45-degree angle, just like that. And I like, coons they are attracted to fresh dirt. A lot of all angle. So I put my leaves, a lot of people like to build up stuff around it to make it camouflage. Not me. I take the leaves and I scrape a big old dirt here. And I take a little bit of these eggs and marshmallows, not much, but you don't want to get full. And the wild man can sprinkle them around that little area where you got your crawfish oil, okay? What they're doing is they're walking that trail, smell that fresh dirt, see it, and they'll go investigate, see this on the ground, and then they'll commit to this. A big smart coon, a big boar sometimes in the wintertime, they're rutting, they love roads. A big boar coon in 25 pounders, got a big silver, huge coons, they love to run roads during the rut. Okay, around Christmas and January and stuff, that big coons are just like a buck. They're running in roads. They go for miles and miles and miles on them dirt roads and smell. So I sit on the edge of dirt roads only. This, cheap, easy. Go to Marvin's, get you some of that aircraft cable, 3/16 or smaller. Get you some of them clamps. Make a loop big enough on this side that your trap can fit in. Okay. This right here, you'll thank me later. This is the best way. I mean, I can't believe I was doing some of the other ways. Over here, here's the sign. Put it like that right there. Put it through there. Of course, the wood hang up on it. Put like that right there on the tree. Cock it like that right there. Set it. Just like that right there. Okay, you move the grain, your leaves, put your toe. That's a hot spot. Right where the trail comes on the road, sit right there. I also have a big weight. like a 50-pound weight, doesn't have to be that big, 20 pounds good, but somebody that gave me this is scale weight. I hook this right here to that, in places with no trees. And if you don't want to use that earth anchor, just throw it in there, they're not scared of it. But that earth anchor is good when there's no trees. When there's trees, 100% all my DPs have this cable on there. It's so quick and easy. Mark uses it for his traps too. It's so convenient. Same way, same difference. Wrap it around a tree, put your trap through it, or not getting off there. Now, one thing I will tell you about this, I learned the hard way. Make sure that tree has branches, because I've caught them several times, and I come up and I can't find my trap. I'm like, what the heck? I'm looking, and there's a coon hanging down by 1 foot, you know, and you don't want that to happen. You just sit there hanging. That's kind of cruel. You don't want that to happen. It does happen. So make sure your tree you put around half branches. If it's a little small tree, he'll climb up, pull that thing over that tree, will fall, he'll pull it off, he's gone with the trap on his foot. You know, we don't want that. So 100% make sure that tree has branches. Okay? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of what I love. Set locations. Number one is rules and regulations for trapping. There are way more rules in trapping than there is in turkey hunting, deer hunting combined. There's a lot of red tape in trapping. There's lots of things. You've got to have one of these. You've got to. A catch pole, okay? You're going to catch a dog. It's all the way around. I mean, you're going to catch a dog. It doesn't hurt them. These traps, you can stick your hand in them. They're made, they're up to date, they're made not to hurt. Jake stepped his foot in there. I've set a trap before and he went screaming. I look over there and he's running with no boot on his foot. It's water boot. He just took it off and he's come over. Dad, I got my foot in the trap. Don't hurt you, just scare you. I get them all the time on my hand stuck. When I'm brushing my dirt, got them set so perfect and tight. I do that and clap right on your hand. The gloves will help you. It doesn't hurt. I mean, it'll scare you and it might, it might feel like something just kind of popped you on the hand, but these are a lot. You've got to have this in the back of the truck if you trap, okay? You have to have a 22. Some of the tools, of course, a shovel, gloves. I use 2 pairs of gloves. I use one to handle all my sets, all my traps, my tools, drills, all that stuff. Then when I go to baiting, which is the last thing, I always switch out gloves, because if you get some of this down South Traverse briar patch all over your sifter, all your dirt that's going on top of your trap's going to smell like bait. Okay, so when he goes to smell it and dig, he's going to smell where your trap is, and he's not going to step on it and all that stuff. You want the scent in the hole down there. Okay, so here's the sifter. Got to have one of these. There's all kinds of different makes, light ones, cheap ones. This is a heavy duty one that lasts you forever. It's a little heavy carrying around, but I keep everything in this bucket. This is important too. Keep this bucket. Keep gloves in it, all that stuff. This is just an old turkey seat, mossy oak turkey seat. Put one of them on there, and I'll do this right here. Okay, there you go. That's knock it out. A lot of people take another little bucket over here and drill that on there. Okay, guy I really love up to is Casey Shipman. He's part of the Management Advantage. That guy's taught me a lot of stuff. He takes his bucket and screws it on. That way you always scent one and always tools in the other. You just want to separate it. Okay. Some of the stuff that I put in here. Wild Man show. He loves this thing. He toes all in my yard. But this right here is awesome to have. There's all kinds of like step down sets you can do. Dirt hose. A dirt hole up here and you make a trench. Okay? That coyote goes over through that trench to get to the hole. So that's a good way to do this. And this really helps us all around digging stuff. I don't tote this with me every time on the line. It's a little heavy. I like to take light traffic. I'm a walking trapper. I love to lock stuff up. The roads that I trap, most of the time, I don't drive on much. So I walk and I carry this stuff, so I carry it light. Auger, dirt hole auger right here. This is very, very important. This will save you so much time. Instead of digging it with this right here, this will take forever to dig it, especially this hard dirt. So you take this auger, put it in your drill. 45-degree angle again. Very, very important. Go to a vacuum. Brought y'all this rock. I brought you put your rock. Okay. A lot of times if a rock's already there, it's better because it's used to to it. But I have set this rock out there and caught like the first or second day because it's white. You want one bigger than a cantaloupe. You don't want them to turn it over. They'll come behind it every time they'll try to dig it over and it'll be moved. So I'll take this and dig me about an inch little hole, a little platform. I'll put that rock in there, twist it down, stand on it, whatever you got to do, then pack it around it real good. Then I'll take a stick, sometimes I'll stick it right here, up against it, pound it down. Okay, and all that does is stabilize that rock because coyote almost every time wants to come behind it. I don't know why, they do that. So I'll take this auger and I go at a 45-degree angle and I'll go, and I'll go, and I'll go. Pull it out, get the dirt off, take it off, go back down. Oh, why am I going so deep? You got a hole that big. There's no time for a fox to go in there, reach his hand, get the sheep wool, and he's out of there. He didn't get caught. If it's at about 12 to 18 inches deep, I go to about right here. You can see the coloration. I go at least that deep most of the time. This dirt is hard at a 45-degree angle. Okay, I'll have that rock under there so he can't come from behind and get my bait. And then right here I'll have a little brush of grass. And right here I'll have a turd, a coyote turd, bobcat, fox turd, even a dog turd. We call dog turd workers. Put it right here, okay? That's narrowing your gap where he's gonna step. He ain't gonna step at the crab, and he ain't gonna step on that little bush. Then you take a little clog of dirt. After you've done bedded your trap and all that stuff, your trap's bedded, you take a little clog of dirt. You put it on this side of the pan. All right? To rewind a little bit, when I set these in front of this, I come back 9 inches over 2. Some people go 3, I just go 2. When I set it from that hole, I come back 9, I do this. I just do that. And that's where my pan's going to be. Not right in the middle, to the side. Because they're, most times, I ain't going to say they're most on their right hand or left hand, but they like to take their right hand and step on that good, clean, little spot that's not got a pebble, turd, leaf, grass. They step right on that little soft earth and they go. And when they put their weight down, got it. Simple as that. It's so easy. The main thing, you know, how you got thousands of acres and you can get something to step on that, that's how you do it. You see it's bringing them in. I always face my dog towards the dominant wind, northwest wind, in Alabama most times. Unless it's full wind, south wind or something, I'll go set it that way. So just pretend that's northwest coming towards me, okay? Here's the dirt road behind me. I set this right here on the side of the dirt road with my hoe, kind of like grass and crap right here where he doesn't really want to go behind it. I'll set that to 9 and 3 like that right there and have it set. Okay, dig your hoe, you pound your chain like I showed you with the pin trap, go all the way down. It's already set, okay? Once it's in the dirt, pack it. That's 100%. You gotta pack it. You gotta pack all around it with the fist, wherever you can, take your time. I mean, take 30 minutes, an hour if you have to. Pack that crap. Whenever you touch it, you don't want it to wiggle no kind of way in that dirt. I mean, no kind of way. You have to figure when it rains too, it makes the earth a little softer. You have to figure all that stuff. Just make sure it's solid as crap. Touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it all 4 sides. Try to make it wiggle just a little bit. If it doesn't wiggle, you're good. Make sure that's all packed, okay? Now imagine this is in a hole, a little bit deeper, about an inch lower than the earth. After it's all packed, I fill pour my dry dirt. I get this in the summertime, in the backyard or wherever, and I put it in a kid's pool or a tub, and I put it in my garage in the summertime when it's dry. I let it dry, okay? When it gets dry, I take a little bit of peat moss, take this awesome Avengers sifting bucket that Jacob let me borrow, and then I get my sifter. There you go. Take that dry dirt that's been dried, pour it in there. You sit there, get your garage, turn your music on, drink your cold beer, whatever you got to do. Shake, shake, shake. Get the kids to do it. Do whatever you got to do. Just shake, 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 shake. All right? Once them big pebbles are on there, take them, throw them away. Okay? Make sure you drink some of the big ones that come through here like a rock. Any little pebble that's swept through this hole, it will get under your pan. So try to make it as okay? A lot of times I'll take about a cup or two of this peat moss here. And I'll take it. It's soft and it's hard to pack. It's good for rainy weather. Some people use it, some people don't. I'll put it in my dirt. All it does is help dry it out a little bit. I don't put too much because I like the forming of that good dirt, and that doesn't form good. So I just put a little bit in there, just kind of, probably don't have to, but I just like it. A lot of people use wax sand, wax dirt. That stuff's expensive. You got to make it yourself. I'm a poor man's trapper, so I do everything I can myself and use anything I can. Okay? Always. If you find these in your yard or somewhere and you got them, get them. I love these. Okay? It has to be not too big where it scares them, and it has to look natural. So just get them right there. This is awesome. Bobby found this out here somewhere. You take this, stick it in the grass a little bit. Here's the road. Take the dirt and kind of where you're going to put your trap, put it out. It looks like a little path where the turtle went in and back in. Put your bait on this sheep's wool. Sheep's wool. This is always good to have. Take your bait. Take your little stick or little whatever you got. Stick it in there. I use about that much. Maybe a little bit more bait, not much. Okay, that's all the bait I use. That's a lot, really. You put it on this sheep wool, big sheep wool. Put it in there, squeeze it out, stick it in there, push it all the way to the back. Okay. Then come here. Some of this Keg Creek Mama. The man donated a bunch of stuff to us for this event. Awesome stuff made by legends. I know this guy catches thousands of coyotes, thousands. The man makes this stuff that's amazing. Take that. Bait, you want less than a golf ball. Lure. That right there. You go any more than that right there, it's going to take several days to catch. It's going to take, it's going to be overpowering. A coon will go to it, a bobcat will go to it. Every now and then a fox will go to it, but a coyote is going to wait a couple of days before he gets it. Because I'm bad about over-lured until I learn this. Now, this helps gauge how much, and it helps stick to it. Instead of, I always find little sticks. I break them, I stick it in there about the size of that, then I stick it on the back of my hole, or in my hole, or in that grass back here. In this case, I put a little bit right here on top of the shell inside, and the shell also helps keep the rain out. Rain during traffic season is hard. So any way you can keep the rain off your bait, washing out. Here's the thing. When do you rebait? How often do you check that? It's going to bother you the next 3, 4, 5 days you don't have a trap bite. Am I doing something wrong? What did I do? Why are they doing this? Coyotes, they'll travel. They'll make a big circle. And it might take them 5 days to get back to that area. They're not like the deer going back and forth every day. They're going to want to go and they'll come back. And then all of a sudden you see that they'll come right through there. It's time, 4 or 5 days. It's crazy. So just be patient. Be real patient and don't touch your traps. Don't come back and lure it again. If you do anything, after it rains or once a week, this is what I do. Once a week, I'll go check and I'm getting a little aggravated. Say 7 days went by. I'll take some fox urine or coyote urine. I'll come over there and I'll go just entirely shot right on the back leg. Just a little bit to let you know something's there. And I guarantee you, so many times that I've had a track there 2 weeks, not even a track in a row, I touch it up and they hit first night. I don't know if it's just needed that little touch up or if they just think it's really fresh themselves. I don't know. Okay? We all turkey hunters. I got a lot of turkey hunters here. Save your feathers, dove feathers, duck feathers. Save these. Pile them up in a bag and keep saving them. These are awesome. Wild feathers are one of the best attractors, especially for bobcats. You can put these on a string, hook a fishing line to it, some heavy duty fishing line, put a barrel swivel on it so it spins, and a weight, okay? The weight's just gonna keep it where it don't wrap around the trees. All it does is keeps it down here, and that barrel swivel's gonna spin. Bobcat, pretty much, I don't know what percent, but he hunts with his eyes. He's got a great sense of smelling, but he looks with his eyes. He'll be walking that road way down there by our main road, and he can see us that far doing this, and he's going to turn and he's going to come straight to it. And once he checks your trap out, you better hope you catch him, because what I've learned is cats get bored. They get real bored. If they see it, you don't commit, he might not come back. It'll be a different cat that you catch. If he walks by it and sees it, he will come back. But if he ever goes to it and sees what's in it or something, it doesn't get caught, he won't probably ever come back. That's what I've learned. I don't know if that's true to you. Pretty much cats get bored, they meander through the woods, they like to go zigzagging. They're not like a coyote on a path to a certain way. Cat will turn, go across the log, go through the tree, he's just having fun. He don't care. He's the top hunter in the woods, he knows it, he's just out there running around. But they're hard to catch, but they're easy to catch too, as far as scent and sight. I catch all my bobcats on the dirt hole sets, trapping for coyotes, simple as that. I used to try all this, and I still do every year. But if you put these feathers in a dirt hole, put them in your hole. Put them in your hole like that right there, and take a couple of them, and just kind of leave them around a little bit, okay? And what it does with that scent in that hole, these feathers all around, just laying around like that, and the wind just a few of them around, it seems like they like that a lot better. Anytime I kill a turkey, every time I cut the liver out. I cut the liver out and I'll put blood on top of my rock right here with a little bit of scent. Then I'll put some turkey liver deep down in that hole. And then I'll put the feathers in that hole. And I'll leave them all out like that right there. So you got that right there. What does it look like? You see blood, feathers, something's come over there and bury it. A coyote's a thief. He's going to steal that food. He's going to come over there and he's going to take whatever put that there. He's just like that. It's easy for him, easy meal. He'll come right over there and get it. Okay? I always carry 3 types of urines: fox, bobcat, and coyote. I switch them up quite a bit. Crow's blood. This was from a company that sponsored this show, and if it wasn't, I would still bring that crow's blood. It's that good. This is freaking awesome. Anything made by Lennon's, he's an old man. He's been in this business for probably his grandfather, Oscar Lennon, and all them. They're legends in the sport. That's a bobcat gland lure. You can see I've got everything from rattlesnake to horse to, oh man, alligator. I've got everything you can imagine as far as different types of stuff. Summertime trapping, I don't do much of summertime trapping, but this stuff right here is thin. The ants won't eat it up. That's your biggest problem in summer. It dries out and the ants will get it. So this is real thin. Put that in there on some sheep's wool and it kind of like liquid. It's called Proline Roadrunner. Okay? I can go over baits and lures all day. I love them. I just love talking about baits and lures. Any question y'all have about that, I'll be glad to answer. Here's something else you need to do. Save these little jars, and when you catch something, I don't skin all that stuff on with that choke, but I do try to cut the glands out because it helps me catch more. You catch the anal glands of the bobcat and the yolks, and I'll put them in these jars to save them, and I'll mark them, okay, and they're fresh. Oh, this is awesome. Beaver tail is awesome. You take a beaver tail, if you catch a beaver meat's awesome. It's good to eat too, but if you take that tail, you cut it in little chunks, and you can take them and soak them in the sun like for a year with a piece of cheese pop on there and the lid loose, and it makes an oil. It makes a real good oil. That little piece of beaver that's in there that's made that oil, they use that oil for like a trailer scent. That little piece of beaver in there that's soaked in there in that sun is deadly. It's probably the #1 bait for a coyote out there, other than liver maybe, turkey liver. But I do that, and this really just adds a little bit to it. Always have your Q-tips. Always have your Q-tips. These little PVC pipes I made, they call it a pipe dream set. I'll take this, and in that backing, that grass backing, I hammer it down to just about that much to show it, okay? Then I'll take that sheep's wool. Where is that? Sheep's wool. And I'll put my lure in there in my bait, and I'll put it in there, and I'll tuck it down far as it'll go, all the way down. Okay, it'll be down in the ground, but it'll smell it really good. They got a strong sense of smelling. But that actually keeps the water off of it too, like the turtle shell does. So this is very important in the rain. I use these a lot in the rain. I've caught several off of it. Any kind of little bones, it doesn't matter. They use a big T-bone and all that stuff and pound it in the ground. This one is more like, I just put my scent on in that little gap right there, and I'll lay it in the grass, kind of right in front of my trap a little bit. It just makes it look like something's been there and just tore it up, like that right there, okay? And then, always, like I say, when I switch over from my tools and I get everything set, I get all my tools up, don't forget your tools. I have forgot something and nothing's hitting, I'm wondering why. And there's a bright orange screwdriver right there, and it might scare them when they come up, you don't know it's there. So, always pick up all your tools and put these gloves on. Any kind of gloves, it doesn't matter what kind of gloves, just something different than you're using, like I told you. Then you go to your scents and stuff. And as far as tools, drill, groundhog hammer, that's what we call these, groundhog or side busters. Hatchet and machetes, these are lifesavers. I don't carry them on my everyday line, but when I first start setting my line, I always carry them because you got to top up roots. Roots are the main devil. Roots are off. This for any blinds or stuff, briars and all that stuff around it. Get in there. Set on intersections. Any kind of T, any kind of highway intersection like that right there is dead. Set on the downwind side of it. Here's your T, like this right here. Road goes that way, road goes this way, road goes that way. Winds come out of the northwest wind. Set it on this side of the road. That way the wind's blowing right across the road. I set both sides, but this side's the one you can catch when the wind's blowing right to the road. Take your handful of dog food. Take your little bit handful of dog food, throw it right in front of your trap, because a lot of times them coyotes are running, and that will slow them down just enough. Go right there. Now look, and that's when they get caught. They would never stop that dog food. I use pure skunk quill. It was a lure made out of skunk quill, and it's awesome. I love it. It's called Gusto. Y'all want to? You get a chance? Y'all smell this. This is awesome. I'm telling you, this is funky. My wife absolutely hates this stuff when it comes in the mail, but I love it. I mean, I'm addicted to it. It just wake you up in the morning. That is killer stuff. It's a little strong.
Put that lid back on there.
I only put it in the hole in the cold weather.
Right, things just got weird.
You ain't seen nothing yet. I put it up on a limb. Okay? On the downwind, on the upwind side of my trap. I put it on a limb. I might put some on here, come to 30 yards, and I'll put it on that one just a tiny bit. If the limb that's actually free, come over here, put it on the limb like that right there. Just, it's already stuck there. That's it. All it's doing is it causes sin. It's just letting everything know there's something in there, and they love skunk. Everything loves the skunk. Okay? You take peanut butter and you brush it on that pan. Break it on that pan. Take some of this awesome Hunter's All Game pod stuff. You can use cracked corn. This has a little sweet smell in there. Take this, put it on the back of it like that right there. Okay? Just like that. Break it in the back. With that peanut butter. Pecans. These are a little expensive, but my wife, she bakes a lot and makes a lot of Georgia cornbread cake and all kinds of stuff like that. So if we ever have leftover pecans, I take a couple of them and I put them right in front of the trap and about 6 of them in the back with that corn and the peanut butter. You will catch a squirrel a day, every single time.
Talk about leftovers.
These are expensive. I had to hide
All
these.
bad.
I didn't know them. It's fun to catch squirrels, and a lot of people want to go on section in the decks and stuff like that. So I figured I'd show y'all. We started it. It's just so fun. You can go every day.